We are live.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another scene for Odessa, The Dark Crusade, Season 2. This scene opens on another night in Odessa, in the height of summer, and the evenings are warm. Even though the sort of cloudy darkness has enveloped the city, there's a heat that permeates. The sand in the courtyard of Madeline and Thorvald's haven is warm underfoot. Thorvald wakes later than Madeline, but he knows that she often studies or writes letters early in the day. So he doesn't see her when he first comes down. But after a while, after an hour or two, he sends Gutria to find her mistress and to bring her to the courtyard.
Oh, it doesn't take very long. Gutria, because of, the blood being what it is, she kind of just instinctively knows where to look first. And it doesn't take long before Madeline just comes out in the courtyard, looks around, goes over to Torvald. What is he doing at the moment?
He's standing there in what you know to be his pit fighting gear. It's not his usual armor. It's kind of like I suppose like a what's the right word? Not a kilt, but like I suppose the best word I can think of at the moment is like a leather kilt and boots and wrist braces. And he's holding two practice weapons in either hand. And when she comes closer, he holds one out to her, handle first.
She takes it.
It's been a while since you and I sparred. You've been giving Memnon all your attentions in the ring.
That is true. That is one area where I do believe you have me beat. Or at least I should very much hope so.
Probably the only one, really. He winked. You notice that even though he's in his pit fighting stuff, the black orchid chain that matches yours never leaves his arm. It's always sort of wrapped around it.
Well then.
He stands ready. Yes, I will
Madeline
be.
will just put up a hand and just say, one moment. She takes off the more not more elegant clothing she's wearing. So she is wearing an underdress, and she probably doesn't want to get it dirty. Try to.
So Thorwald smiles, looking at her. He says, "You see, you have an advantage already. Distraction."
I would never do such a thing. She smiles to him.
He grins. And stands there ready.
Yeah, the two will begin.
Thorwald mostly takes a defensive part so she can practice dancing around him.
I'm going to roll just to.
They already practice weapons. They do bashing at best.
Oh yeah, but Madeline is just gonna do some movement.
So you open the dice roller.
Yeah, I have just. Yeah, she moves all right. She has one success, and she is going to do a strike. It's a practice sword, and she's barely gonna hit Torvald because he is a dodgy geezer.
Wait a minute. I totally fucked that up. Hang on. Can't type today, apparently. How did I get? What the hell? Sorry, guys. What am I doing when I? Thorvald is obviously. I mean, Thorvald gets 5 successes. He's able to block her.
She smiles. She seems to.
He watches her dance around him for a while, and then go for a strike, and then he just brings his arm up and blocks her. Like far less gracefully than Madeline moves. Thorvald's just it's all hard action, like hard and solid, like very much like a Roman centurion fights.
Yeah, and they're gonna do this, and Madeline seems to really enjoy this.
He seems to enjoy watching her move. It doesn't seem to be a great strain of effort for him. He seems to be more
3 this time.
Ooh.
Does he try to dodge?
He's gonna. It's Dex Athletics to dodge, isn't it?
Yeah.
6 as well. I think all my fighting stats are 6. She hits him.
So that will be, you take 1 off, right?
Instead of parrying, he tries to move out of the way this time, and she gets him.
So that's 1, that's 4. And +1 for a training sword, or is it +0?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's +1. I don't really know. It's a blunt weapon. It's like a wooden sword. So
It's whoa. Okay. Madeline does 4 bashing.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to soak this unless I roll really badly.
Yeah. You're fine.
Thorvald he doesn't take it. Obviously, it doesn't hurt him physically, but he does. The knock exists. Knockback damage exists. And when you strike him, he does go back a little bit. Takes a few stumbling steps back because you're hitting him with potions. Well, you're strong.
She's not pumping blood into it.
You know what I mean, but you've got natural potence adds to your natural strength.
Mm-hmm.
You're stronger than a human. The blow comes harder, and it's a good blow. Oh. He winces. You got me.
Luckily, I did not put any real force behind it. It is a chain sword, and
I could have taken it anyway.
I know. Luckily, that none of the betters at the pit were to see things like this. You getting hit by a woman?
Right. Someone's going to swing for you now.
Oh, yeah. Helen's going to try and dodge. She fails. You hit her clean.
Yeah. Thorwald, he doesn't have a specialty in sword fighting, because he's more of a brawler, but he just sort of brings the sword round quite quickly and taps her sort of on the bottom of her back for it's just straight strength, isn't it, plus successes. 5d10. For bashing.
For bashing, and just need to write. She soaks it. Oh, okay. Yeah, she's just
It
doesn't.
always sort of slaps her on the butt. If he aims a little bit higher than that.
Man, she just turns to face him again. After having failed to dodge, she just says, if I did not know better, I'd say you were distracted.
Maybe I have other things on my mind. I met with Memnon last night.
I know.
You know.
I met with him too.
Oh.
He told me as much. Well, voiced some concerns.
He wants me to get into business with him with his new tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look. I said what we need to do first is make sure that Lillesump control the whole merchants district.
To be honest, it is Memnon and mine. My tavern.
Oh, you're the silent partner, are you?
Yes.
Never need to be the silent type, Madeline.
Since I am, by your wish, getting involved in more than just taverns. Also in the trade of, well, something I was involved in by myself.
He shakes it. He waves his hand. He says, "I don't want you to get any more involved in the roost than you feel like you need to be."
It is something for me to consider. I told Memnon as much yesterday. You see, not only was I doing this myself in my mortal days, I was also very close to a fellow ancilla who ran a similar establishment. I had problems with it before, well, concerns.
Unfortunately, after Luftig's appearance there the other day, it's gained a little attention. Luftig and Margot turned up the other night at the roost with Luftig coming to apologise to me for his behaviour.
That is good.
Is it?
She does not say that is good very convincingly.
Thorvald says, "Is it?" with a sort of similar face.
I'm assuming that he has not moved against her or the place.
No, I didn't. I didn't mention Sadia, and she was wise enough not to come forward.
And by what I spoke of.
Margot wanted to see the girls that Luftig is fed upon, but obviously, being humans, they remembered nothing of the pain and only the pleasure. She asked me if Luftig would be welcome back, and I said no. Technically, he didn't break any laws. Any of our laws. But I cannot guarantee his safety if he touches any of my women again.
It is a fine line to walk. In the grey between dusk and dawn.
It's the place I've always walked, my love.
Quite so, but at the skirt of laws.
There's no law. There's no law against. There's no law against beating. I can't kill him.
No, but only more trouble, only more potential enemies will just
Which is
mount
why.
evidence against you that you are not to be trusted.
Which is why I didn't put my hands on him, and I didn't threaten him.
Directly, but indirectly, very much so.
Thor has the look on his face of a boy that's been told off. I'm sorry, Madeline, but he. My dominance must be shown. He can't just walk into my building and do as he pleases.
I understand.
I think he got the message. He wasn't in a hurry to come back. In fact, he
But,
couldn't. In fact, he couldn't wait to get out of there.
however, from what I gathered, it does seem as though perhaps it is not the women that his attention is focused on.
He raises a brow.
It is the business.
A third brothel in the city.
Where?
He'd be in open competition with. I can never remember. This is so annoying. I can never remember everyone's character's name. He'd be in open competition with the Setites and his own primogen.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But remember, the plague, and then now the curfew. Quite a few businesses have been disrupted. So,
They kind of set on their place. That priest of theirs. His place seems undisturbed. Memnon and I paid it a visit last night. Most opulent brothel I've seen anywhere outside of Capua or Greece. Three layers, everything laden in gold. In the room that he sat on he sits on a throne on the top floor with 20, maybe 30 guards surrounding him, and a chest full of silver. He offered me the companionship of some of his women and a chance to taste blood, but I do not trust them.
it is very wise. Where is this place located?
I don't want you going there, Thord says, resignedly. Just over the bridge to Riverside.
It is more a question of domain, really. I have
Just
no intention of
on the
going.
other side of the bridge. Well, if you do want to go, I can't stop you. You go where you please. It's just, sometimes I think I speak with my heart and not with my head.
On this, and your attitude towards this and me going, do not believe you need to speak. He smiles.
You would only turn the place rusty with envy anyway. There's not a single thing in there more beautiful than you are. I told him as much.
Well, I appreciate that.
It's all slithery, slimy, distasteful gold. There's something that makes me feel sickening about it.
Is it
something wrong.
distraction?
I couldn't shake the feeling of danger there, like being in the mouth of a snake.
Your instincts serves you well.
He's obviously got more than enough resource to hire and equip a large army of personal guard. He says he plans to take over Riverside and be their new leader, the crime master. But he's in open opposition with the Ventry. I'm not sure how that will go.
Madeline just seems to consider this for a moment.
I brought Memnon along because I needed his wise opinions. He can usually get a better grasp of things on a business level, on a commerce level, than I can.
Did he speak to
I never
you?
had my own gold when I was mortal, so I don't really understand it in the ways that you do.
Well, tell me, what did he speak to you of? Memnon.
He said that he took a note that the men were well outfitted. And he offered his assistance to, let's set a insert name here because I fucking keep forgetting. He said the priest wanted Memnon to make him an item. He hired his services, though I did not. I do not know what the item will be.
Perhaps more opulence for his place of business?
Perhaps. Though I don't know how the place could get much more opulent.
The Setites finds a way.
He offered me. I was polite, but I made it clear that I will not work for him directly, and I have my orders from elsewhere. He's perceptive, though. Very perceptive. He noticed this. The Lord holds his arm up when it was under layers of my armor. I merely put my thumb on it to think, as I often do. He saw me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Just tell us that he perhaps, who knows, maybe he has certain ways of gaining a better insight into the reality we find ourselves in. However, if he is to become involved in the Battle of Riverside, what would happen if there was to be a downturn in business at his brothel? I wonder. Guards, well outfitted, are well and good, but at a certain point it may be a long time, but if they begin to not be paid well, they are not worth much.
They look more like servants to me. Slaves. I've seen slaves before. The way they bowed to him. Thorwald demonstrates. He goes down onto his knees, but this is the way he bows to Madeline is more like this. But then he goes down onto the ground perfectly and does this bow where he puts his full body on the floor and his hands face down on the sand.
You will hear a pfft from Madeline, and she'll just, please, get up.
He gets up in a push-up, as if almost showing off then. That's slaves. That's how slaves bow.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get off the floor. I know, this is the way I lived for a long time.
So, they will not leave, but if he closed down his business, well, it does not matter how many guards he has if there are no customers, well.
Well, women like that come at a price. I very much doubt he's going to be giving away all his women for free. And I very much doubt that men of the riverside will have the coin to pay for such women. It seems like an odd placement to me. Which makes me suspicious about whether it's not a front for something else. You hear rumours about the Setite?
Plenty of rumors. Although, I do not believe we can breach the tradition of domain just on a hunch.
I wasn't suggesting it. You know I trust your judgment. Even though you don't like me on my knees. He smirks.
Well, quite a few ways I like you, but in very specific circumstances, you are fine on your knees. She smiles very widely.
He's dropped his arm a bit. Like, through the conversation, I imagine they were sort of lightly sparring. But like when she says that, you notice that he does drop his arm a little bit, so the guard is dropped.
So, he would perhaps already be involved in the smuggling and the requirement of certain objects that are not normally bartered.
There's a lot of gold in that room, just on display. Not sure whether it was a show of dominance or something else.
His Majesty, of course.
It seems stupid. You've got a load of thieves and cut purses and beggars coming in. They're going to take the gold, you know they are.
That may be the point. Maybe all that gold is there and nobody takes it because they know that it will end very poorly for them if they do.
A trap, then.
What a statement. I control here. I am in power. And no one dares to question me. Look at all these things that are just hanging around and everyone knows that they are dead if they dare touch it.
Reminds me too much of Gaia. Those two could be a perfect pair.
Undoubtedly. Although I do not believe Gaia would be involved in this particular business.
She wouldn't lower herself to associate with the – working classes, no.
Her loss. She looks at you.
She only came to see me fight once or twice, and that was in the major city games. Never in the pits.
And how many times have I seen you? 5? 6?
Many times. Still, your presence in the arena strikes a strange chord in me to see such a beautiful thing in such a dark place.
Why, that is the reason I am not there every night.
And Gaia had a difference. She was a senator's wife. There's status to be upheld and appearances to be met. I'm afraid you only have a wolf for a husband. He says playfully.
Yes. I only have a powerful, very self-accomplished, measured, and much, much more worthy wolf. Much more worthy than her of the blood. For a husband.
And you see, you don't even need to raise a sword to have me at your mercy.
Hmm.
He just looks at her for a few minutes. With all the sand and such kicked up into the underdress.
Hmm. So, this set out. If we are to get involved, I and you are to get involved into this business, should we?
I don't know whether I want. I think I may want to leave it because I don't want to be caught under the boot if the Ventrue come down on him.
We won't. Not if we go against him, try to drive him out of business.
With what coin? No. I think we should play safe for now.
Did I say coin?
It makes the roost a target, and I don't have the means to protect it at the moment.
Only if it knows where the pressure is coming from.
It's risky, Madeline. I don't like it.
You'd have not heard what I have suggested.
I have more to lose than he does.
And you would be a target. Why?
What are you suggesting?
I am suggesting that I talk to someone, well, several someones, and we begin to make that image of someone who cannot be trifled with at all less so. I suggest that none of his girls, none of our girls are involved. Not even anyone will come, but his reputation, the sense that people will look at his things and say, we should not approach, we should not dare do anything to him or approach his place of business. That be tarnished. And if that is tarnished, well, he will have a harder time maintaining what he has, and even more trouble claiming Riverside. If that is the case, we can call on the Ventrue to help us.
You want to work with a Ventru?
Given
I don't know. It's like choosing between two dogs you know are going to bite.
it is like choosing between a dog and a ghouled lion.
You think the Ventru are lions?
No. I believe they are much more trustworthy and much less dangerous than the Setites ever will be.
Maybe you're right.
If I am to choose between the two, I know what I would choose.
I trust you. I shouldn't let my personal feelings about Gerard cloud my judgment on the matter.
I have not come to a decision yet, mind you. I do, however, give it thought.
I never. My life was always one. For hundreds of years, my life was one of subservience. Manipulation and lies did not come easy to me.
I know.
So I will trust your judgment and your politics on this matter. Just. It's difficult. I don't think Gerard and I are ever going to see eye to eye.
No, I don't think so.
But if it's for the better of the city, and it keeps the peace, then I will do what it takes. Better the devil you know, I suppose.
Memnon had a quite intriguing proposal last night.
Asking to come to your bed again? Right, lighten the mood.
No. I asked him about his attitude towards such things, when it seemed more natural this time, given the fact that we were talking about horrors. But he does not seem to have the inclination anymore. I discussed that some would find it perhaps even more important now that some try to cling on to humanity. That no, it was not that got my attention. It was the idea of getting into the trade of skin flesh. He suggested something quite unusual.
Thor doesn't seem like he's following. What do you mean?
Well, he said that some of these women are artists in a certain sense. They have a craft just as much as anyone else. I would agree with him to a certain extent.
Thor has a slightly what's the right word? Bemused look on his face.
And he said openly, what if they were to form a guild? What if they were to what if they were simply to well,
Thor open a laugh. He says, "A guild of whores that would never pass."
I know. I told him as much. Maybe not officially, but it did make me think. They need protection from Riley customers. They need protection from the law, the church, and generally, as Sadia, myself, and most of them can attest to, they are not treated well. What if?
This is what I'm here for, my love.
Exactly my point. What if there was a way for people like them to, how to put this? Be protected in a different way. Get more of what they earn for themselves. What if there was a way for whores to simply...
I think I know what you mean. I mean, the Roost, for example, Sadia and Anna run it, so the women are all sort of independent. I know that's true of higher end courtesans and prostitutes. But the women in Riverside, I expect they pay protection money to pimps. Pimps is the wrong word in this time. They pay protection money to men who make sure that their customers are swift. I'm sure they do not live in such good conditions as they do in the Merchants Guild and Noble Quarter. But then the price is lower, and you can expect less. There are women that do it as a choice, an active choice, as a form of art, as you and Memnon have agreed. They do it
And
because
then there are people in my position, formally, that have no choice.
there are women that do it because they love a nobleman but cannot marry them because of their status, so they become his or her courtesan. I've seen this. But yes, the majority of the women are women who do it out of lack of choice, because it is the easiest way for a woman to make money. A harsh truth, but there one is.
True.
I don't see that ever changing. But that's not to say that we can't provide some sort of sanctuary. It wouldn't make us popular. And it would pose some risks to the women themselves if they leave their masters. The masters are not inclined to keep them out of sentiment. They be coming because they lost money. And they be coming looking for them. I've seen it. I've seen women get beaten by their masters for not bringing enough coin.
What if we were to...
Thorvald, just after he says that, Thorvald just takes a hard swing at one of the wooden posts. You can tell it's a pretty hard swing because both the practice sword and the post chip. Pieces of wood fall off of it.
And that is some of the things you want to end, and I want to end. Well, if we were to corner the market, we would have to do certain things to make us stand out. But
I think we should talk to Margot about this.
I'm
not entirely sure whether we have the foothold to do this successfully yet. I think it will take time. And I don't want to move too soon because there's so many cards in play at the moment. I really don't want to reveal our hand at this point. Build the small business that we have first. We have priorities, the curfew, stabilization of the city, renovations on the new tavern and on the roost. Once we have those in place, then we can play some cards. I think.
Probably.
I don't want to put my hat in the ring just yet. I want to be ignored by the Venture and the Setites. Let them fight amongst each other. I'm pretty sure the Setites will be crushed under the Venture power.
Quite so.
And then we don't need to do anything. But just let the game play out.
If we could close the Setites' business, well, that would be great.
I want his money.
I'm sure.
I could put it to much better use than shining my own golden cock. Dawes is. It's obvious that he's jealous.
Perhaps not a golden cock, but perhaps a golden armor for you?
I don't suit gold. Black's my colour, as you know. He holds up the black orchids and places a kiss on them.
Quite so. Quite so. Well,
It is nice to be invited into all these different houses and be offered to feed on the occupants. It means that people don't see me as a threat at the moment, and that's exactly how I want it.
It is. Very good. Perhaps we should wait, or perhaps we should get involved in this business in Riverside. I will have to give it more thought, speak with Memnon some more. Before Steenie was here, I do believe.
The Setite mentioned that any actions he's putting in place are going to take place over the next 3 or 4 weeks. So I say let's see how his cards play out. See how that round goes. If he loses, he may become begging for friends. And if he wins, then we might know something else about what the state of affairs may be in Riverside.
While waiting is a good thing.
I don't know enough about him yet to gauge his power. I like to observe my enemies.
Perhaps we should invite him for a stroll. Get a better feel for him.
Doesn't sound like a bad plan. It seemed to have you and me sussed as lovers on our first meeting.
Well, I will gladly admit that the both of us do not do the best of jobs to hide it. Nor should we.
Myself more so than you.
I am guilty of this. I will admit.
How can I help it? I find the way you command a room so mesmerizing.
Please. Smile, Sam. Please.
Please what?
I was about to say stop, but honestly.
You don't want me to stop?
No, I don't. Flattering from you is Tasting a highborn.
It's one thing you can't do, though. I'm gonna see if you can block this. I only got one success, so you got a chance.
And what is that is dex melee for blocking, right? Or parrying?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
She does.
What Thorvald does is all of a sudden he just swings the sword out, as if he's gonna hit her in the throat. And she blocks and he grins.
Madeline is going to spend some blood. She's going to take a swing at him.
Right at the moment, he's standing really close up to her. Like, sort of like at your throat level. Close the distance.
Yeah, she will strike at him with 3 successes. And
he's gonna just take that.
Okay.
He's not gonna block. Just roll your damage, real quick.
Yeah, one moment. I'm just gonna roll. I'm just gonna see, like, 4, 4, 6, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bashing.
It's half after soak.
Yeps.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He soaks all of it.
Soaks all of it, and I've got a specialty in stamina. So.
He soaks all of it.
Thorvald takes it. It is a hefty blow. You got the successes, and you got the damage. You see the impact. Where does she hit him?
She will just take a swipe at him. Just to his torso.
Mm-hmm. That's a grapple roll. With
damn!
4, 5 successes because I've got a specialty.
She has 7 dice to resist that, because that is strength brawl, right?
Strength brawl, yeah.
She's currently very strong and actually resists it.
Damn it. Thord is he's gonna keep going. He's gonna keep trying.
Oh, there you go.
First of all, he grabs you. He grabs Madeline and he tries to grapple her, but she's just too strong. Maybe she's expecting it, but he persists, and you feel the sort of grip. And we'll do another grapple roll. It's not doing you any damage.
Wow.
Ooh,
okay.
That's a good roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, you got me beat.
Thorvald takes her down to the ground. Just sort of pins her hands down so she can't strike.
She looks at him as she lies there, thoroughly subdued. So, You have me beat.
Something like that.
No, I think it is quite clear. I am at your mercy.
He leans in to kiss her, just sort of stopping about, just like barely a breath away from her lips. I'm looking forward to seeing how the snake deals with two predators.
It will be interesting.
I think he kisses her.
And she kisses him back.
He just sort of seems to enjoy it for a minute because for once he's got the power here, the physical power. And then after a few moments he'll let her go. Releases the grip.
Hmm. Madeline grabs at him as she lets go. She says, "Not so easily." And we'll just hold him.
He like presses his face into her neck, into her hair, and he's whispering to her in Roma, in Latin, sort of general sort of affirmations, I suppose.
Hmm.
Unsure whether she understands it or not. Just seems to come natural. The ground is hot.
It is. Thanks to you. And me.
And
She smiles to him as begins to kiss her more, I guess. Madeline will just smile to him and just say, "Oh, I am so sorry, but I have not denied you in this way before." She smiles as she sinks into the ground.
was she using earth meld?
Yes.
He watches her vanish and then sort of lays on top of lays flat down on top of the on top of the earth where she's vanished. Like sort of face down with his palms flat on the earth. And you can almost imagine him like if he was going to, like kicking and having a little tantrum on the floor.
Mm.
But instead he just puts his hands down and goes, Madeline. Like with sort of like fruitlessly sort of digging at the sand slightly.
It will take like a minute, and then Madeline will reappear just with a big shit-eating grin on her face.
He at this point he's laying on his back on the ground, looking somewhat annoyed.
She comes up towards him.
It's a combination between being annoyed and amused.
She just gets up on like crawls, just puts her like supports herself with her elbows and her arms and just puts them on his chest, looks down at him. "I do enjoy teasing you." And with that, I do believe that this scene will come to a close.
Yep.
And thank you very much for playing. Players for playing and watchers for watching. Good night.